On either side of the company is the cabildo to the left, and to the right is the presbytery. These were once government buildings. In fact, the cabildo is where the Louisiana Purchasers were signed in 1803. These are now the Louisiana State Museum. The red brick building surrounding the square are the Catawba Apartments, completed in 1851 under the leadership of Baroness Michaela Almanassa Catawba, a Creole-born aristocrat. They were later renovated into smaller apartments, and today they are maintained by the Catawba Building Commission. Also to the left, you'll catch a view of the French Market, which was once a site of Choctaw Indian trading posts. The building still retains much of its 1818 Spanish town roof. We're now heading around a very sharp bend in the river. This is Algiers Point. Algiers Point is one of the sharpest and deepest bends on the entire Mississippi River system. The water we're traveling over now is 214 feet deep, natural depth. Now you'll notice some very interesting currents and countercurrents as we travel this section of the river. Centrifugal forces here are so strong that it actually caused the river to flow back upstream. All this makes navigating around this 91-degree bend very difficult. So we have a traffic control system in operation monitoring all river traffic at this point. If you look to the left and see where the green and yellow wharves meet, you'll see a tall steel tower. At one point, a licensed river pilot who was a civilian employee of the United States Coast Guard would sit in that tower and monitor all river traffic. Operations moved from that tower to a central location over on the West Bank back in 2010. But the building is still used today to house cameras and control systems for the traffic lights mounted on the river. The traffic lights are usually activated when the river stage is between 8 feet on the rise here in the harbor. It will remain in operation until the river stage is 9 feet on the falling river, with the exception that the river will continue to fall. Also to the left, you'll see several wharves lining the bank of the river. These wharves sit at the foot of the streets for which they're named and are painted different colors for easy identification. Over to the left is our Esplanade Avenue wharf.
Fourth floor shop.
At one point in time, all that could be seen on the East Bank side were these wharves. They were used to store cargo, such as grain, sugar, cotton, coffee, steel, even petroleum. Cargo was moved along the wharves by means of trucks and trains along the tracks behind them, running parallel to the wharves. At one time, there were 22 miles of wharves here in the Port of New Orleans. Today, only a few remain in operation. A lot has changed in cargo movement in the last 20 years. Most of our goods today come in large container ships and go upriver to the container terminals. We received 4 new container gantry cranes back in December from China for our Napoleon Avenue wharves. Once those are up and running, it will bring our crane count to 6 and allow New Orleans to become the second largest container armed barge facility in the United States, following only the Port of Virginia. Now, if you look back to the left, you'll see a very unusual building. This is one of several on the campus of NOCA, which stands for the New Orleans Center for Creative Arts. This is a high school for students who excel in the visual and performing arts. The building just ahead of the NOCA building, with the words "You are beautiful" written there, is the old cotton steam press building. This building dates back to the 1800s. In 1965, after the passage of Hurricane Betsy, the building was destroyed, and you can see the discolored bricks for where it was fixed. After Hurricane Katrina in 2005, the words "You are beautiful" were written up there as a shining light of hope to many in a time of struggle and uncertainty. Now, as we travel the harbor, you may notice that in many places, we're actually looking down on the rooftops of buildings and homes behind our levees. That's because the New Orleans area is an average 6 to 8 feet below sea level. The river, even at its very lowest stages in the summertime, is always a few feet above sea level. Today, the river stage is about 4 feet above sea level. In the springtime, when the snow melts up north, the river stage here can reach between 16 and 17 feet above sea level. So we have those levees protecting New Orleans from the rising Mississippi River. The levees were first designed in the mid-1700s by plantation owners. And today they're maintained and built up by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Our levees rise 25 feet above sea level and extend 1,200 miles upward, all the way to St. Louis, Missouri. The Mississippi River begins as a tiny stream in the northern state of Minnesota, with its headwaters being up at Lake Itasca. The water there is so shallow that you can actually walk across it on top of several stepping stones. It then travels over 2,000 miles down through the United States, through the New Orleans Harbor, and out into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, folks, if you look overboard, you'll see the muddy brown condition of the water here.